Hello, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to come back in here and talk a little bit more about what happened with my dog. And I was going to give you all some tips on what to look for, if you have an older pet, like 10 or 11 years old. The signs that you look for when it's about time for them to say goodbye is they will be laying around, not eating very much, not drinking very much. Um, and they lose interest in things that they used to do, back in the day. And they'll do that almost daily, folks. And a lot of them will, when they're getting close to that time, if you pay attention to them when you let them outside or whatever, they'll go lay in one particular place, because that's an animal's way of hiding, to try to, they want to be in private, that's just the way animals are when they pass away. And Saber's favorite spot out here was right out here in front, at the front porch on the other side of the porch. Every time she would go outside, that's where she would go to. Because before me and my husband found out that she had that tumor and everything, um, I took the leash and went out there and I'd get her every time she would do that. Well, one day she looked almost completely lifeless, folks. So I think that if I would have ignored her and let her stay out there, I told my husband I felt like that she probably wouldn't have been here that day. But I guess I was being, I really wasn't ready for her to go yet, folks. I wanted to be with her a little bit more, so I got the leash and I brought her in. And I knew that my husband didn't want her out there laying like that either because she was just laying on the bare ground, in the dirt and leaves and all that stuff. So I would go out there and take the leash to get her and brush all the dirt and leaves and stuff like that off of her and then bring her in. And see, me and my husband bought those little black and white rugs, and put them all through the house. So when they walked on the slick floor, they wouldn't slide around and hurt themselves. We bought those for her and Buddy both, both of our dogs. And even our cats if they decided they wanted to, you know. But they're nice little rugs. They don't. We've had them for a little bit now, and been walking on them and everything. They don't show dirt that bad, and that's what I like about them because the animals are going to be going out and tracking dirt from outside back in. But of course, I got little tools here to keep stuff clean with, so I'm not too worried about it. And then I feel good. In a way, I feel good, folks, because, they say when you get depressed like that, staying busy is what helps you the most. Well, yesterday I worked on my laundry a little bit, and I got that pretty well caught up. So I got me and my husband's clothes mostly caught up, and I got his socks in there that I got to get done, and laundry will be done. And then one day I'm going to get out here and tackle this porch out here on the side and get all them sunflowers cleaned up, where the squirrels has been out there eating sunflowers, and pick up a little bit, and then I got to go down below eventually and pick up all that stuff down there in the chicken pen and get that all straightened up. And my husband's going to get Calvin and his friend out here to help clean out all the chicken pens, for the winter. Because, we done that back early in the spring, but now they're due to be cleaned again, so we're going to pay to get that done. Hi, folks. But I wanted to let y'all know what the signs are, if you have an older animal like that. And also, they'll be distant, folks. You know how they're all loving and up on you and wanting you to pet them and things like that. Well, Saber wasn't that way then. She would go in the front room and lay in the computer room, away from me and Bobby, until we would get ready to go to bed. And when she seen us heading to the bedroom, she would come in there. And if I was laying in the bed, she'd come up to me and want me to pet her and stuff, because she wanted to be kind of close to us then. And I think that's where she felt the closest to us. But most of the time she stayed distant, like she was depressed and stuff. But I wanted to share that with y'all, and let y'all know how animals do. They have their own ways of taking care of things on their own, folks. And also, I forgot to tell you on that first video, I lost my older chicken, Sadie, my Buff Orpington. And she just died of old age, folks. I knew that was probably going to happen eventually, because Sadie was about, normally a chicken's lifespan is probably about 5 years or so. But Sadie, I think she lived a little bit past that, folks. And I don't think she was laying anymore. She laid all the way up to the year before last, and then she quit. So, yeah, now I'm down to one Buff Orpington out front. But my husband went out there and got her, got her out of the pen, because he said when he come through from coming back from the store, he said she was laying there dead, so he went and got her out of the pen. But I want to get on here and say hello to y'all once again, folks, and hope that you're having a nice evening. And hope that you enjoy these videos and stuff, folks. But I've got a fern in this snail tank, folks. I know I've got a little bit of algae there, but I've got a fern and it took over this whole tank. I got that back in the summer and it was about this big. And it's already took over this whole 10-gallon tank just about. And my snail, she gets in there and hides in it. Sometimes you can't hardly see her or anything, so I think she likes that. But so far, she's the only mystery snail I've got. But my husband said something about I didn't go over there at that pet shop much anymore. He mentioned that to me today. I may go over there one day and see if I can find a little snail to put in there with her. Because I keep this 10-gallon tank here free to put just the snails in, no fish or anything. Because if you have mystery snails, folks, by experience, I know that fish will nibble on their antennas and tear the antennas off the mystery snails. So I don't really like to keep them in the tank with them. I've got one tank just strictly for snails, and that's it. I don't even put no assassin snails in there with them because they will kill mystery snails. But I do have problems with bladder snails, folks. This tank here's got them. And then there's a couple of them over there in that other 10-gallon tank, but they haven't taken over the tank yet. But if they do, I'll just get in there and clean them out and put them over there where my assassin snails are in my 40-gallon tank. And they'll take care of them, folks, because they've already wiped all the snails out of that. You like my hat, folks? It's got a little ribbon on the back of it. But yeah, I wanted to get on here and share that with you. And also, I've noticed, like today, I don't know what it is, but you know, since our dog, big dog, has been gone, Buddy will look around and he kind of gets scared and stuff, you know. And he come over here. We don't know how long Buddy's gonna last either, folks. He's, you know, so far he's trying to maintain, but the vet said that those diabetes shots and stuff that he's taken will take a toll on his body eventually. But I'm hoping that it's quite a while before it does that, because I'd like for Buddy Boy to stay around and be with us for a little while. And also about my Pyrenees, the one that I had put down, folks, another thing that she did, she changed her behavior completely around. You know, she was strictly an outside dog up until she got sick, and then when she got sick, she wanted to stay in the house. So yeah, their behavior will change too. Those are the signs that it's getting close to the end, folks. With your older animal from all the way from 10 on up. So if you can, love them and spend time with them as long as you can, folks, because, you know, Pyrenees lasted all the way. Some of them will last 11, some of them will last 12. It just depends on their situation, I guess. Well, anyway, thank you for joining my YouTube channel, folks. You have a nice night and a blessed night, too. You got this, folks. You're awesome. Bye-bye.